Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and marbles. Welcome back to Marble League Football. Here we have a recap of Week 9 of our first official league in Marble League Football. We have the standings here in the West and the East Conference. We have the Wranglers up top at 7-2, Tigers, Spartans, and Mustangs all tied for that first place at 5-4 in the East Conference, followed by the Pirates. They're at 5-4 as well, but they have lost to all those teams above, hence why they're at number 4. Then we have the Serpents and Knights tied for 6-3 at 2-3, and Dinos, Scorpions, and Reapers all at 5-4, fighting for that last spot in the playoffs. Here we have Week 10 of Marble League Football. Whoever wins this week will dictate who advances to the playoffs, our first official playoffs of our history in Marble League Football. Look for it to be a great one, and look for some teams on the lower half of the league to kind of spoil the standings for some teams if they can. So let's have a great way to finish off the season and make our way into the playoffs. Our first matchup of Week 10 features the Huskies and the Serpents. Serpents stand at 6-3, averaging 31 points per game. They defeated the Mustangs last week, actually. Don't worry about that mishap in the graphics. They beat the Mustangs, and they still win that number 1 seed if the Wranglers lose here and if the Serpents win. While the Huskies stand at 2-7, averaging 24 points per game. They're eliminated from the playoffs, lost to the Hawks last week, but they can play spoiler here for the Serpents if the Serpents don't play their air game here. Look for it to kick off Week 10. Let's have a great way to end this season. The Huskies will start the game with the ball here. Let's see how many points they can put up to start the game. Field goal. Make an early 3-0 lead over the Serpents. Let's see how this high-powered offense responds. Touchdown! 2 touchdowns! Just like expected, your Serpents take a 14-3 lead over the Huskies. How can the Huskies respond here? 10 points! Make it 13-14. How can the Serpents respond before halftime? Touchdown! Going into halftime, it's 21-13 Serpents over the Huskies. The Serpents will start the ball here in the third quarter, up 8 points. There's a penalty and 2 stops. Have a chance here. Can they take advantage with that penalty? They don't. They get stopped. What a defensive stop by the Huskies. Can they take advantage here? Down 8. Field goal. Make it 16-21. Going into the fourth quarter, the Serpents have a 5-point lead over the Huskies. Can they win here? They get stopped! What a defensive display by the Huskies here in the second half. They have a chance here to upset the Serpents. Can they do it? Oh! There's a penalty. One last chance to beat the Serpents. Can they do it? No! You're hurt. You're Serpents. Hang on and win this game. Yeah, that's a 7-3 on the season. They beat the Huskies 21-16. They scored 3 touchdowns. They stopped the Huskies to only 1 touchdown and 3 field goals. Huskies dropped to 2-8 on the season. Now the Serpents will wait for the Wranglers to see if they lose. If the Wranglers lose, your Serpents will be that number 1 seed since they have that head-to-head win over the Wranglers. And your Huskies end the season at 2-8. They look to have a better one next year. What a game. Our next matchup will feature the Pirates and the Hawks. Pirates stand at 5-4, averaging 32 points per game, while your Hawks are at a league low 1-8, averaging 22 points per game. Pirates won last week against the Wranglers in a big game that they had. They can still win the number 1 or number 2 seed here with the W, while the Hawks are eliminated from the playoffs, but they want to play spoiler here against the Pirates. Although they found the first W last week against the Huskies, can they continue it here in the final week of the MLF season? As we kick off here the game between the Pirates and the Hawks. The Pirates will start with ball here in the game. They go down and score a touchdown. Take an early 7-point lead. There's a penalty. They don't take advantage. Hawks down 7 points while they take the field for the first time here in the game. Touchdown. They tie it up. There is a penalty. Can they put up some more points? Touchdown. Wow. Your Hawks have a 7-point lead over the Pirates here in the second quarter. How can the Pirates respond? Field goal. Make it 10-14. Hawks have a perfect chance here to increase their lead if they can. They get stopped. No. Going into the third quarter, they will start the game with the ball with a 4-point lead over the Pirates, looking to play spoiler here to end the season. Field goal. Make it 17-10. Pirates down 1 possession here in the third quarter. Can they respond? Oh, 2 penalties. Can they take advantage of those? No, they get stopped. What a defensive clinic by the Hawks here. Can they do it? Fourth quarter, up 7 points. Oh, they get stopped. Pirates hang on defensively. They need a big possession here to win this game and to still remain in the 1-2. Oh! Touchdown and a field goal. Your Pirates win the game, 20-17. They do not get upset by the Hawks. They advance to 6-4. Your Hawks drop to 1-9 on the season. Your Pirates still have a chance to be that number 1 or number 2 seed in their conference, depending on how some games go later on today. But your Hawks finish 1-9. Pirates 6-4, 20-17. Your Pirates avoid that upsets, and they look to make a better splash in the playoffs moving forward. Our next game features the Tigers and the Knights, two very good teams here that know how to score points. Look for it to be a great one here. Your Knights stand at 6-3, averaging a league high of 33.5 points per game. They defeated the Spartans last week. They already clinched playoffs. The highest seed they can get is the 3rd seed because the Serpents won. And if the Wranglers lose, they lost to the Wranglers, so the highest they can get is the 3rd seed. While your Tigers, they win and they're in the playoffs. They could even get the number 1 or number 2 seed if they win here. Look for it to be a great game. High stakes here for both teams. The Tigers will start the game with the ball here. Can they do something in this first drive? Touchdown! They take a 7-0 lead here to start the game. How can this high-powered Knights offense respond? 10 points! Make it 10-7 going into the second quarter. Look for it to be a great one here between two very good teams. Tigers here going down in the second quarter. 2 field goals. Make it 13-10. They take the lead before halftime, but the Knights have a chance here to respond. Field goal! They tie it up. Make it 13-13 going into the second half. The Knights will start the ball in the third quarter, tied 13-13. And they respond. Oh, touchdown! 3 touchdowns! Wow! What an offensive clinic by the Knights in the third quarter. They take a 34-13 lead, make it 16. But there's a penalty on the Tigers. They have a chance here to respond. They don't. Going into the fourth quarter, it's 34-16. Your Knights are over the Tigers. There's a penalty. Touchdown and a field goal. Make it 44 points for your Knights. Can they add more? Make it 44-16. Knights over the Tigers. Touchdown. 44-23. Your Knights destroy the Tigers here to end the season. They advance to 7-3, scoring 5 touchdowns, 3 field goals, while your Tigers drop to 5-5. They better hope some teams lose here if they want to make the playoffs. They do have a chance here to make the playoffs significantly, since they do have some head-to-head tiebreakers over some teams that they need to lose. There is some slim chance that they do miss the playoffs here. They need something to go their way, while the Knights secure that 3 seed regardless of what happens. What a great game by the Knights. They have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Our next game features the Kings and the Dinos, both a must-win game for both teams. The Kings stand at 4-5, averaging 28.5 points per game, while your Dinos are 5-4, averaging 29 points per game. They defeated the Tigers last week, and if they win, they clinch their way into the playoffs regardless of anything that happens today. While your Kings need a W and they need other teams to lose here in order to get into the playoffs. So basically a playoff game for both teams here at week 10. Look for it to be a great matchup between the Kings and the Dinos. The Kings will start the game here with the ball. How will they start this game off? Roll down the field. Touchdown! They take a 7-0 lead over the Dinos. Dinos look to respond here. Field goal. 2 field goals. Make it 7-6. The Kings have a 1-point lead going into the second quarter here. Can they extend their lead here with these drives? Make it 10 points. Make it 17-6. Dinos down 11 points here. They score a touchdown. Make it 13-17 going into the second half. The Dinos will start the third quarter with the ball, trading 4 points. Again, must-win game here for both teams. They put up a field goal, make it 17-16. Kings have a chance here to extend their lead. Field goal, make it 20-16. Going into the fourth quarter here. Playoff game, essentially, for both teams. Who will win this game? Touchdown! 2 touchdowns! Your Dinos take a 30-20 point lead over the Kings. Kings need something big here. They get stopped! Your Dinos win and they clinch their way into the playoffs. Wow, what a game by both teams. Your Dinos on a win streak, and they cement themselves into the first ever MLF playoffs here. Your Kings drop to 4-6. They're basically out of the playoffs. They're eliminated. While your Dinos find a way to make themselves find a chance to make the big tournaments. Wow, what a game. They score 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, while the Kings only score 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Dinos have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs, while your Kings will look to regroup in the offseason here. Our next game features the Spiders and the Reapers. Spiders still have a very slim chance to make the playoffs. They need a W and other teams to lose. While your Reapers, They needed a W and a Dinos up, but with the Dinos W, your Reapers are officially eliminated from the playoffs, so they are playing for pride here. So we have the Spiders sitting at 4-5, averaging 25 points per game, while your Reapers are averaging 32.4 points per game. Look for it to be a great game. Again, Reapers have been eliminated, while your Spiders have a very slim chance of still making the playoffs regardless. The Spiders will start the game with the ball here. Let's see how they do. And they get stopped. Wow. Reapers with a big defensive stop here. How can they respond with the first time with the ball? Touchdown! They take a 7-0 lead over the Spiders. Even though the Reapers have been eliminated of the playoffs, they're still going to play hard as play spoiler against the Spiders. Spiders put up 17 points here in the second quarter. They take a 10-point lead over the Reapers. How do the Reapers respond? Touchdown! Field goal! Just like that, they tie it up. Score 17-17 going into the third quarter. The Reapers have the ball here in a high-scoring game so far. Touchdown and a field goal. They take a 10-point lead, make it 27-17. They're trying to wipe out the Spiders from the playoffs. And the Spiders, 30-27. They take a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter. How can the Reapers respond here? They're playing for pride at this point. 2 field goals make it 33-30. 3-point lead over the Spiders. Spiders have a chance here. They get stopped. There's a penalty. They have another chance here to stay alive. Down 3 points. Reapers, stop them. Reapers eliminate the Spiders from the playoffs. They take this W by 3 points, 33-30. Reapers finish the year out 6-4. Spiders finish with a 4-6 record. Reapers, even though knowing they were eliminated by the playoffs, still played with their hearts out, and they played spoiler against the Spiders, knocking them out from any playoff contention. What a way for the Spiders to finish the season. But what a bigger way for the Reapers to finish the season, even though they had nothing to play for at this point. Look for both teams to make some improvements in the offseason. Good luck to both squads. Our next game features Sharks and the Wranglers. The Sharks have been eliminated from the playoffs, so they're going to be looking to play spoiler against the Wranglers, while your Wranglers are already guaranteed in the playoffs. If they win, they have the number 1 seed, and if they lose, they drop down to number 2. They lost to the Pirates last week. Look for them to bounce back. Wranglers sitting at 7-2, averaging 27 points per game, while your Sharks are 3-6, averaging also 27 points per game. Look for the Sharks to spoil the Wranglers, while the Wranglers want to have some momentum going into the playoffs for that number 1 seed. The Sharks will have the ball here to start the game. They have a score touchdown, and ignore that graphic mistake. It says Spiders, but they are the Sharks. Alrighty. The Wranglers tied up here, 7-7 going into the second quarter. How can the Sharks respond against the top team of the league thus far? They get stopped. Great defensive stop by the Wranglers. They are a team that knows how to play very good defense. How can their offense respond here? They take a 3-point lead going into the second half. They will have the ball here to start the third quarter, up 3 points over the Sharks. And they get stopped. Wow, Sharks made some defensive adjustments going into the halftime. Can they take advantage down 3 points? No, they get stopped. Wow, low scoring game here between the Wranglers and the Sharks. Anyone's game at this point. Touchdown. They take a 10-point lead over the Sharks. Wranglers up 17-7. Can the Sharks play spoiler here? Touchdown. Touchdown. They do. Your Sharks take down the Wranglers. The Wranglers cannot lock up that number 1 seed. They drop to number 2. Your Serpents are the number 1 seed in their conference, while your Sharks advance to 4-6 on the season. They play spoiler. What a game. Your Sharks have beaten some high-tier teams here in the season. If only they could figure out on some of those games that they lost, they could have been a powerhouse. Hopefully next year in the offseason they figure some things out and they become a better team next year, while your Wranglers have dropped 2 games in a row. Not what you want to see before going into the playoffs. Our next matchup features the Mustangs and the Bulls. The Bulls, before that game of the Dinos, or a win and other teams lost, but with the Dinos win, your Bulls are officially eliminated from the playoffs. So they want to play spoiler here against the Mustangs. The Mustangs are winning in the playoffs. They stand at 5-4, averaging 27 points per game, while your Bulls are 4-5, averaging 30 points per game. They defeated the Sharks last week, while your Mustangs lost to the Serpents last week. Look for it to be a good game. Bulls want to play spoiler, while the Mustangs essentially have a playoff game here. The Mustangs will start the game with the ball here. How will they start off this game? Again, a win, and they're in the playoffs. Touchdown! Field goal! They take an early 10-point lead over the Bulls. Bulls, how can they respond here? Field goal. Touchdown! They tied up! Going into the second quarter, both teams are tied 10-10. Mustangs have a chance here to put up some points. Field goal, touchdown, field goal, make it 23-10. How can the Bulls respond? Field goal, make it 23-13. The Bulls will have the ball in the third quarter, down 10 points. Can they play spoiler to the Mustangs? Field goal, touchdown, out of field goal. They take a 3-point lead over the Mustangs, 23-26. Mustangs need to respond here if they want to be alive. Field goal, and a touchdown. And just like that, your Mustangs respond. They take another 10-point lead over the Bulls going into the fourth quarter. Bulls need something big here to spoil the Mustang season. Touchdown, and a field goal, make it 43-36. Oh, Mustangs need something here to stay alive for the season. Field goal. Oh, your Bulls defeat the Mustangs. Wow. Bulls 43, Mustangs 39. Both teams stand at 5-5. Bulls, even though they were eliminated, play spoiler for the Mustangs. Mustangs have a chance to still make the playoffs, but need some things to go their way. Wow. Mustangs really drop an important game here. Not the thing you want to see before trying to make a playoff push, while your Bulls, even though they were eliminated already, played for determination and serious sabotage of the Mustang season. What a game. To end here, week 10 of Marble League football, we have the Spartans and the Scorpions. Spartans stand at 5-4, Scorpions 5-4. Spartans averaging 28 points per game, Scorpions 29 points per game. Your Scorpions with the Dinos W are eliminated by the playoffs, while your Spartans still have a chance for that number 1 or number 2 seed. Scorpions want to play spoiler to the Spartans, while the Spartans essentially want to win here to have a top seed in the playoffs. Look for it to be a great game, and the game to end Marble League season in week 10. Let's go! Spartans have the ball here to start the game. They score a touchdown right off the bat, and a field goal, make it 10-0. Scorpions down 10 points to the Spartans. Touchdown! Make it 10-7. Your Spartans lead over the Scorpions. Again, your Spartans win, and they have the either number 1 or number 2 seed going into the playoffs. Touchdown and a field goal, make it 20-7 with the penalty. Touchdown, make it 27-7. What a way for the Spartans to start the game. Field goal, make it 27-10 going into halftime. Spartans putting up a clinic and building up momentum going into playoffs, and if they continue this up. What a defensive stop by the Spartans. Scorpions do not score here. Spartans up 17 in the third quarter. Touchdown, 2 touchdowns. Make it 41-10. Your Spartans will win this game, and they lock up that number 1 or number 2 lead seed going into the playoffs, and they stop the Spartans here, lead them to only 10 points on the day. Field goal, and your Spartans win 44-10 in a dominant showing here to end the season of Marble League football. Number 1, Spartans, and that's a 6-4. Scorpions dropped to 5-5. Your Spartans put up 5 touchdowns, 3 field goals, stopping the Scorpions to only 1 touchdown and 1 field goal. And with that, week 10 of Marble League football has ended, and season 1 of Marble League football has come to an end for the regular season, as we go and look at the final standings to see which teams have made the playoffs here in Marble League football season 1. To finish the year in Marble League football season 1 in the West Conference, we have the Serpents finishing at 7-3 with that number 1 seed, and the Wranglers with that number 2 seed at 7-3. Knights 7-3 with that number 3 seed. The Serpents defeated the Wranglers and the Knights, hence they have the number 1 seed. Knights lost to the Wranglers, that's why they have the number 3 seed. Dinos at 6-4. They have that head-to-head win over the Reapers, that's why they made their way into the playoffs. While in the East Conference, we have the Spartans at number 1 seed, defeating the Pirates, which are at 6-4 as well. They had a number 2 seed. Your Mustangs and Tigers make their way into the playoffs, both teams are 5-5, but your Mustangs have that head-to-head win over the Tigers. That's why they stand at the number 3 seed, and your Tigers have that number 4 seed. The teams that did not make the playoffs are the Reapers, Bulls, Scorpions, and Hawks. Reapers, even though with a winning record, fall short just with that loss to the Dinos, while your Spiders and Kings at 4-6, and Sharks 4-6, Huskies 2-8, Hawks 1-8. Here we have awards of the week. Team of the week goes to the Spartans in a dominant showing to end the season, 44-10 win over the Scorpions. And the game of the week is the Bulls and the Mustangs. Even though the Bulls didn't have much to play for, they wanted to play spoiler against the Mustangs. They win 43-39 in a high-scoring affair. What a way to end the season of Week 10 of Marble League football. Now that the awards are wrapped up, let's go and see our official first ever Marble League football playoff brackets. In the West Conference, we have the number 1 seeded Serpents playing against the number 4 seeded Dinos. Early in the season, the Serpents defeated the Dinos 24-12. Look for the Dinos to find revenge against the Serpents while they are on a 4-game winning streak, while the Serpents want to continue their dominance here in the playoffs. We have the number 2 seeded Wranglers against the number 3 seeded Knights. The Wranglers defeated the Knights early in the season, while the Knights are looking to have revenge on the Wranglers, who are on a 2-game losing streak, while the Knights are super hot, scoring the most points so far in the season. In the Eastern Conference, we have the number 1 seeded Spartans facing off against the number 4 seeded Tigers here. The Tigers started off the season really hot, defeating the Spartans actually when they played early on in the season, but the Spartans finished with a better record. Look for it to be a great matchup here, as the lower seed defeated the higher seed here before they play in the playoffs. The number 2 seed Pirates face off the number 3 seed Mustangs. Earlier in the season, the Mustangs actually defeated the Pirates when they played. Both lower seeds defeated the both higher seeds in this bracket. Look for it to be a great one as we approach Marble League football playoffs. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's how our first ever regular season ends in Marble League football. Our playoffs start next week, and I will be happy to see everyone there. Thank you so much, and tune in to Marble League football next week. Thank you.